welcome to this great podcast.
We're starting it with a bang.
I am TrX SoLuTiOnZ, and there's currently an ad playing. So this is the something podcast. I think it's 6. So hi. Who else is here?
I'm Censorious. I'm the North American streamer manager here at SRM.
It is I once again.
Beautiful.
This has been the best podcast already.
The essence of professionalism.
It's okay. The beginning of the podcast aren't even that fun.
Do we have to restart? So this is
That's what I'm trying to read.
I can hear myself.
Yeah, Navy. I think it's you.
Oh, sorry. I'm because it was all of 20.
You're good. You're good.
Welcome.
This has been like the best podcast start ever. Like,
oh god.
Oh god, that made it even better. That little moan right there, that just makes this whole podcast
Of course.
100% better than it already was.
Navy, you gotta oh wait. Nope, never mind. That's me. Alright. Welcome everybody.
Welcome to the podcast. This is the best podcast.
Alright. So how's everybody doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are y'all?
Dude, we were rolling, like everything was going perfectly fine until like Colton stuttered with his countdown.
Yeah.
Very true.
Right.
No.
Oh wait, did we not finish the introductions?
Yeah, we did. We did.
Well, you can see on the screens who's here. It's fun. Hey, Dynamic, what's up?
We did. It's good. I got out of a quiz today. She just forgot about it. It was pretty nice.
Nice. I'm gonna bomb a test on Tuesday.
Honestly, same. It's a pre-calc test. I'm a bomb.
Mine's an organic chemistry test.
So I don't even know what that means. Organic, like what? I don't know what that means.
Well,
if you put this much soil on top of that much wood,
I don't need to know that. I don't think that's.
I don't know.
That sound about right.
That sounded like some old philosophy in the book of Navy Brat right there. I don't even know where that came from.
Navy Brat book. It's thick and very confusing.
Sounded like never mind. So before we get into our serious discussions like we always do,
of course,
I do want to say this. Rest in peace, Stan Lee.
Oh, God bless his heart.
The greatest human being on Earth is now.
Of course. Oh yeah.
Gone.
Rip.
We seriously need a moment of silence for that.
How long's a moment?
Hey, I think we passed the moment.
Okay, look. This man was the best man to draw. Well, I don't know. He didn't draw. Jack Kirby did. He was the best man to make up characters. And like when I was younger, like seeing him in movies, I had no idea who he was.
Same.
But I noticed he was in every movie, and then I looked him up, and I noticed that he was like somebody important. And I think I was like 9 years old at the time, and ever since then, like everything that I've like seen and done, I've appreciated it so much more now that I know who he is and what he did for everything. I mean, especially at the time, like what was it, like the 30s or the 40s or something? Like comics were just, they were really looked down upon, and just to see him start to just say, it doesn't matter, let's just do it anyways. It really goes to show that he didn't, he wanted to put comics up there and show that, it's not lame, or it's not being, loser thing, or it's not, wanting to be a hero is not lame. And I think that's a really, really cool thing that he did.
Yeah, I mean, but when you look at just what he created, I mean, it wasn't just like, all right, we're going to create this different world and we're going to go with just a whole different world. No, he created universes, worlds, dimensions. He created magic intertwined with mutants. What I mean, like, he took everything that, like, we all got into a room and just asked what our favorite power would be, what we think we can do it. Everybody would have something different, and to be able to incorporate that and create not just the world, but just like, I can't even expect a massive universe upon universe of just characters with special abilities, with different, personalities and the transformations of these characters. There's characters we still don't know their history, like Logan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We don't know his true origin. You know what I mean? Like, we know Thor. We know everything there is from Thor, from his birth till his present. We know everything about Bruce Banner from when he became Hulk. There's certain people and then you got Scott Summers, Cyclops. We know who his dad is. We really don't know much about his mom. There's people that you just don't know their past about, but we never even questioned that because he gave us so much content.
Yeah. We just saw the stories.
If it wasn't for Stan Lee, I would sleep at night because I wouldn't be up playing Spider-Man all night.
Here we
Shut
go.
up!
See, I don't know.
Dude, I wouldn't know what comic books were if it wasn't for Stan Lee. That's just truth.
I think
That is-
Like, when I was growing up,
I think they would just not be where they are today. I just think that they would just be dead, pretty much. Like, nobody would.
they
definitely would be.
they would still be there because DC Detective Comics has been around for just as long as Marvel has. It's just
I know that.
You look at, like I said, you look at the fact that when you look at the history of your comic book, your favorite comic book characters in Marvel, Stan Lee's behind at least 70 to 80% of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you had a consistency of one person's passion, one person's mind, one person's creativity, and opposed to when you're reading, DC, it's not the same person that writes Batman who's writing Superman, Green Lantern. These are all different people. And even when you're looking at Superman, it's not even the same people in the history writing that comic book. There have been so many people writing, different genres of Superman. And, when you get into the multiverse of who Superman was, there's not much of a consistency. Stan Lee was always the face of Marvel, and that was consistent throughout generations that everybody can relate to. DC never had. They just have characters.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, if there was without him, I don't think there'd be any movies or any more. Media. Without what he did, I don't think so.
They literally had to go to Stan Lee and ask him and pay him to do these movies. It's not like you can go up to DC and you speak to the company DC and you can get the rights from the company. He owned Marvel. He was the head owner. 81% of the company. Nothing went, without his say-so, without his direction. So when I was surprised that when it got sold to Disney, I was like, man, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, it's Disney. They're kind of restrictive. But then I just thought they have unlimited money.
Yeah.
Disney has, other than, I think, MGM Studios, because they're very old. There's no one who has more money than Walt Disney,
You are very correct.
Oh, yeah. They got a bunch of money. And with any resources and all that stuff, they can make whatever is in the comics come to life. I think we definitely saw it with Infinity War. When I was watching it, you were thinking that Thanos would look, because sometimes there's some CGI where you look at it and you're like, wow, you could tell that it's CGI. But
are you talking about the Justice League movie Enemy?
Yes. No, not the enemy. I'm talking about the Superman's mustache. All right, that looks so bad.
Yes,
that was bad.
And the main villain. He
And
looked
the
like
villain,
trash.
Yeah, but the Infinity War Thanos looked. I mean, he looked super realistic, and whenever the movie's been out for however long now, so I'm gonna just talk about it.
Yeah,
Whenever
don't care about
on
spoilers.
Titan, and he was fighting Doctor Strange. It all looked so real, and it all looked like it was actually happening. So I think like Disney, with them having like all the money and stuff, that they're definitely putting it to good use and making sure that everything looks real. And like, you feel like you were there and you were watching it just because of how real it looked.
Dude, I watched it in 3D.
Let's not forget the Amazing Spider-Man movie. Not the Amazing Spider-Man movie, but the Amazing, Spider-Man movie.
Which one? There's like 12 Spider-Man movies.
Spider-Man Homecoming, the one made by Disney.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was a really good movie. I liked how it was different than the other Spider-Man movies.
I liked how
it was,
I liked how the superhero that's in high school actually looked like he was in high school this time.
Yeah, me too. I like that.
I was gonna say that he was literally in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was a teenager. Like,
I think he's 20. I think so.
Yeah,
I think he's 20 or 21.
I think something like that. Maybe 22.
Yeah, he was 19 when he was casted for the role. And they had to wait for him to actually finish school for him to do the movie. Because he was still in high school.
That's great. It was funny because I think he's from England or the UK, or I know he's not from around here.
Yeah, he's from.
I was watching this interview. I think it was with like Jimmy Kimmel Fallon, one of the Jimmys, and he said that Marvel sent him to an American high school, or to just an American school.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Get the feel for it. And
Miss Ivy Rosie, thank
you. It was like
for the follow, Miss.
Thanks for the follow, Miss Ivy. But it was like one of
the bits.
How much bits did we get? 15? Oh, thank you, Blake, for the bits. But he was sent to like one of the really smart. I think it was the Bronx School of Science. Hold on.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Dude, in that school, when you get accepted, because you got to take a test to get into that school, you just don't get accepted. When you get accepted on the first day of school, they give you a laptop. They don't give you books at all whatsoever. You carry no books. You get a laptop.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the interview so I can continue on his thought, but I watched that so long ago.
Yeah, it was the Bronx School of Science. That's my bad, but
yeah, that's cool.
He said that like nobody knew that he was like a fake student. So all the teachers and all the people thought that he was like an actual student.
Yeah, because he even put on his like Queen's accent.
Yeah, he was trying to put on his accent, and he was talking about how he sat next to quite a pretty lady or whatever he said, because he's from England or whatever. So he had a nice and he was like she was like, what are you doing here? What's your deal? And he was like, I'm Spider-Man. And I feel like if you tell that to somebody in class at such a random time, nobody's gonna believe you. Like, you're Spider-Man, blah blah blah. That doesn't make any sense. But I think it was cool how Marvel actually sent him, so he got a feel of what it was like to be in a high school. Because I mean, I think he was talking about how like in England or wherever they they can drink at 18, so the prom they just all have alcohol and stuff.
Cod Zealat, thanks for the follow, brother. Much appreciated.
For the follow. But he was talking about like, I mean, it was so different here than it was there, especially at like prom and because he said they didn't have homecoming, they just called it prom for everything, and how it was just like they would drink at the prom, and Fallon or Kimmel or whoever it is said like, that's kind of the boring part. The fun part was drinking before you go in or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember. I still don't. I think it was Kimmel. I want to say. I don't remember. It's the one who does the mean tweet. So I think it's Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel. That's right. But I mean, he. And it was interesting because Tom Holland, that's his name. I'm pretty sure, isn't that his like real name?
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, I know he was talking about how when he was younger he loved Spider-Man and how he like had a little Spider-Man costume and he was always trying to be Spider-Man and stuff. And I thought, like, that's so cool because he used to want to be Spider-Man and then now he like actually is, and he's actually doing that for the world. So I think it's pretty cool.
One of the big reasons that he actually got accepted for the part is that he could do a standing front flip and a back flip.
Oh yeah, because he's like a crazy gymnast.
Yeah, he's a gymnast, a dancer.
Yeah, he does all sorts of things.
Yeah, he's great.
I think I saw him. He was like, I know he's a dancer because he was dancing with the girl from the movie. What was her name? The girl who said that she was MJ, but it was really stupid how she was MJ.
Zendaya,
yeah. I mean, they were like always with each other, and they're like, dancing and stuff. But he just seems like a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, they only called her MJ as like a nod to Mary Jane. She's not Mary Jane. Mary Jane.
She's not Mary Jane.
Mary Jane is the worst person on the planet. Spider-Man.
Why?
So
No, stop.
no. Mary Jane is the worst, and it's a fact.
Just because you play the Spider-Man game and she sucked in the game,
that's not why.
The worst in general.
That is not why. She's actually better in the game than in anything else. But the reason is because she doesn't love Peter Parker. She loves Spider-Man, and that's the difference. And
Listen, no,
I think it's the other way around.
That's not true. That's not true. Did you ever read the wedding comic books of Spider-Man? I had them. They were reversible, two-sided. Like I had the whole series. They were reflected comic book covers and everything. They get married, right? And so before they get married, someone actually kidnaps the real Mary Jane and makes a doppelganger of her. And when Peter marries Mary Jane, he thinks it's the real her. Comes to find out it's not really her. Finds out that she was kidnapped and rescues her. And throughout that whole thing, she said, when he rescues her, she tells him that it didn't matter. Like while she was thinking, she says that she knows that any time that he can lose his powers and that he could no longer be that people will always be coming after him and he will always be Spider-Man. But she was never truly in love with Spider-Man. She fell in love with Peter when he was young because they lived next to each other. They were just from two separate worlds, so they never really got to pay attention to each other. You know what I mean? It's the movie star and the science nerd. They're two different worlds.
Yeah.
She always had eyes for him, and it's kind of like, people who grow up, they're friends, and then they realize they've always loved each other. That's how it was with Mary Jane and Peter Parker.
Black Cat is waifu.
Dude, just because the stupid game.
It's not because the game.
It's because the game that you played 10 times.
You child. It's more than 10 times, and it's not because of the game.
Exactly. That's my point.
I just like Black Cat because she actually is, interesting. She's a bad guy that wants to turn good but doesn't know how. And Spider-Man tries his hardest to help her. And I
don't like that. I hate that Black Cat and Spider-Man thing because it just reminds me of Batman and Catwoman.
Yeah, I totally see that. I think it's like the same thing.
To be honest, Batman and Catwoman was a thing before Spider-Man and Black Cat.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty good analogy.
It hurts for me to see that.
Yeah,
it just seems like they stole that from DC.
I agree with that, but at the same time, I just like Black Cat.
I mean, she is more interesting. She has money. She's very smart. You know what I mean? And she has more depth to her than Mary Jane does. I understand. And she's, like you said, she's a villain.
Hey, Blake, 12806.
On my hierarchy of Spider-Man bays, it's Black Cat's up top, then Gwen Stacy, then Mary Jane.
Really?
Yeah, I like Gwen Stacy. She's cool. She's
I
a
don't
science.
know. I don't know enough about her to say anything.
She actually saved Spider-Man's life in the comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do know about that.
Hey, Emma. Of course it just got better now that you're here. And Volt, you are correct. Black Cat is that. I can't say that.
That's the only reason you like her, and that's the only reason that she's on the top of your.
Incorrect.
Exactly.
I said incorrect.
Oh, I thought you said. No, okay. That's the only reason. Black Cat, I have not played the DLC yet, and I need to. But
Bruh,
it
next
seems
DLC
like
comes out in 4 days.
a fun DLC.
Next
But-
DLC.
I just don't think that it's gonna be amazing. Like I don't see, like I know I did the side missions. Like I 100% of the game, and during the Black Cat side missions, I mean you could see that Black Cat was like trying to flirt with Spider-Man and that sort of thing. But I don't know. I didn't really feel it as much. I liked the whole Mary Jane arc a whole lot better than the Black Cat thing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. If you don't like Black Cat if you don't like the Black Cat stuff for that reason, play the DLC.
Yeah, I know. I know I need to play the DLC. I know. I definitely need to. I just haven't even been able to get close to it and be able to even try
Yeah.
to try it
So
out.
so I hate to put a hard stop on all this, but we do have a time limit. And
Oh yeah.
this is a special podcast in which that we have guests. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
So our first guest, if he is ready, shall come and reveal himself.
Ooh.
That sexy
Ooh.
voice.
Squished
How does this man
together.
get an introduction? How does this man not get an introduction, Trix?
What? I was
this
gonna
is-
introduce him.
no, this is the man, the myth, the legend. This is the CEO of SRM International and everything with it. This is Squish Together. This is the man. Okay?
This is the buyer of my Christmas presents.
This is this is
It's on the podcast now. You have to do.
yeah, you have to do it.
You have to do it. He made it podcast official. And
Yeah,
real
you
quick,
have to do it.
thanks Blake for the 40 biddies, man. Appreciate that.
Oh, thank you for the bit.
So, how are you doing, Squishy? Absolutely. So,
Hopefully.
what is a day in the life of a squish?
Oh, a squish.
Look at this amazing guy right here. Goes
Yeah.
to school and runs businesses.
Wow. He runs like
Wow.
12 businesses. Wow.
Just amazing.
That is
What kind of
great.
school do you go to? The regular school? Not for business professionals. You're in high school. Wow, good for you. Good for you. Well, they
For what? Yeah, so what all do you do in there?
Great answer. I wasn't there.
Yeah, you weren't there, Trix. It was just me and him.
7 words.
I know what game you're talking about, and it's so dumb but so fun.
So you're the CEO of at least 4 companies that
He doesn't even know.
If Emma's right about one, then there is one company that none of us know about that she has told me about. I do not believe it though. Wait.
Yeah. Yep.
Is she serious?
Oh my!
Excuse
Wait,
me.
what?
I want a new job.
Yeah, I want a job at that. I would be the best one.
You're too young, Censorious.
I didn't tell nobody. Oh my god! I need.
Thank you for some more bits, Blake. Interesting. Oh my god.
damn. And you're in high school, so that makes you 16 or 17ish, and you're the CEO of 6 companies. So, what got you started to be as successful as you are at your age?
With the boys.
Anyone.
It's
really.
like digital content, pretty much.
Yeah, like if someone needs some graphics designed, we can have that done. If they need a website made, we can do that. Video produced, video edited, video filmed, all that. And so we've been doing that for about 4 years now.
That's really awesome, dude. That's really awesome.
Cool. That's cool.
And so to any parents who are listening out there, what he just said is that video games can make you a very successful businessman. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
At 16.
At 16, 17.
Like, I know for sure games back in the day, they taught me how to type. Now, I know I beat most people, but I had no idea how to type or spell well, I knew how to spell, but like I started learning more and more words quicker, because back when I started, I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 when I started playing Minecraft. Didn't get fully into it until I was a few years older. But yeah, they can definitely help you a lot, especially teach you a lot about business. Especially if you do get involved in some sort of server or community. Like, especially right now, it's so easy to just create a Discord server, post it on Twitter. All you have to do is make an account. Like, everyone has one these days. And a kid could just start a community and have hundreds of members on, and then learn how to manage all this. But yeah, it's crazy.
It's surreal. It is so surreal.
Right. So you start, and we'll give it 8 or 9 in the works, and you have very successful multi-million-dollar before you're even old enough to drink. That's pretty amazing, man.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be where I am right now, and so happy for everything that I have, and very thankful for everyone that has helped me along this journey. And
Me, I helped on the Minecraft server days.
You sure did.
Helped on the Minecraft server days.
And so, would it be fair, Censorious, to say maybe you're the co-founder?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
technically there is a co-founder that is no longer in the picture, although you
killed
may
him.
know who I'm talking about, Censorious, but I don't know if we should mention him or not. But he was definitely one of the owners back then, so he has contributed a lot to SRM.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I may know who you're talking about, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're not here to bash nobody.
But I mean, back then it's just so surreal, man. Like, it really is surreal, even for me, just to see it all unravel. I mean, just to see it all come to life. Because I remember a couple years ago, I want to say maybe 3 years ago, whenever the server stuff, the Minecraft server things were kind of dying down a little bit. Maybe 2 years ago. It was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. The whole server thing was kind of dying down a little bit. And I knew that Squish really wanted to do some sort of business thing online, or some sort of online business thing. I didn't know specifically what he wanted to do, but I knew he wanted to do something like it. So whenever it was starting to go down, I was kind of like, man, that really sucks, because I knew he was so excited to do it. And now it's just something that's like 100 times bigger, and something that I think is really cool for him. And I think it's just really cool for everybody, in all honesty. Just seeing everything actually come out, all of his ideas that he has had, like, I mean, that I didn't even know about, come to life. And it just really goes to show you how, hard work will really just put you anywhere you want to. And also goes to show you that Squish hid stuff from me and didn't tell me about how he wanted to do any of this. So it kind of hurt my feelings, but it's whatever.
Way to make it about you, since
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He just didn't tell me.
I know, such a horrible person.
I know. Trust me. I'm just kidding. I mean,
I have an interesting question for little Squishy over here.
oh, no.
Yep. Ask away.
Who'd you have to blackmail to get where you are now?
Oh, many people.
The president of Latvia.
The president of Latvia. That's how we got one of our fulfillment centers there. Mexico, we have a fulfillment center there. Bunch of politicians, government,
Politicians are involved in everything.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, look at Donald Trump. He's a politician and a businessman.
yeah.
I mean,
You're
funny
fine.
thing, actually. One time I did have a chugging contest with a local politician. I'm not going to mention his name, and it wasn't alcohol. But
I was about to say.
Yeah, no,
I you
forget
just
what it
exposed
was,
yourself.
but
Gasoline.
probably. And
Lighter fluid.
I don't know. We just started. He's like, "Who can drink this faster?" And there we went. So
Off to the races.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
And then you got a picture of him and threatened him with a distribution to a minor.
No.
Not quite yet. No, not yet.
Not quite that
We're
far.
working on that. Not yet.
So what are your future plans, Squish? It seems like you've accomplished so much at a young age. Where do you want to go?
Well, I'm planning on going to school for business because I don't really have... I know a bit about business, but I would like to have like an official knowledge of it, get that degree. And because if everything fails, it's good to have, a backup plan. And if I just graduate high school and don't have a degree or anything, then that might not be too good in the long run. So I'm going to do that, go see how everything goes, and then once I graduate, we'll go from there.
Awesome. Congratulations on all your success,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
I'm not nearly as much of a good person as you. If I was in your position, I would definitely not go to college.
We obviously noticed that when you want to blackmail a politician, TrX. Okay.
What?
Okay, so we obviously feel that.
Hey, at least I'm not the one that just admitted to doing it. Jeez.
Dang.
Harsh.
So Squish, what do you shit. Forgot what I was gonna say.
Happens all the
I
time.
had a great question plan that was gonna incriminate you more. I just
Ooh.
forgot it.
So rude.
Wow.
That's called sabotage. I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Could be.
Oh,
Nah,
definitely.
It's not illegal. We're fine.
Well,
Oh, definitely.
thank you for your time, Squish. I certainly appreciate you being open and transparent.
Oh, no
Your
problem.
history and where you've been and where you're going.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah. And
Thanks for the job.
thanks
to hear
for
the kind
inviting me
word.
on the podcast too.
You're welcome.
No problem. Be on here every week. I don't know why
If
you're
I
not.
say so.
Yeah, TrX Podcast.
Hashtag my podcast.
Hashtag too much power.
You're just abusing it.
You're correct, Censorious. Hey, welcome, Collusion.
Welcome, Collusion. Just abusing power and just.
Do not call this man Peter Parker ever, please. Please.
What?
Never.
What'd you
So
say?
he said don't call you Peter Parker, but
yeah,
Hey,
that's true.
how
You
is,
can't be Spider-Man.
how is you becoming Spider-Man working out for your solutions?
Oh, well, I wish Squish was back because this concerns him. He promised to buy me some uranium, and he hasn't.
Oh my god!
He hasn't come through with that yet. I mean,
Listen,
you could buy
if
it on
you-
Amazon for like $50.
Hold
if
on,
you
but can
need,
I be there?
if you-
Can I? Like,
What,
I
Matt?
want to be present. I want to be present for the experiment.
Well, you see, it's gonna take a
it's
few
my
years. We gotta breed a lot of spiders.
Oh man.
it
Oh,
only
no.
takes one.
Yeah, but we have to build up their resistance through natural selection so
Oh my
that they can
gosh.
absorb enough radiation to actually do something.
Nah, man. Just pop the canister. We all in the room and see what happens, bro.
Right, that's the way it works.
Oh god.
At least we're all with a big old bang.
But you see, that's the Hulk. We only need one Hulk.
Nah. That's not. That's
No.
pop the canister and see what happens, yo. Bunch of insects, bugs, whatever, yo. Just see what happens.
Right.
Just, you know.
I mean, if
Attacking
we're
the
all going
giant
down together, let's do
mutated
it.
insects. Definitely. What's up, Collusion? We're doing. Thanks for asking.
Collusion, why are you still awake? I appreciate you being here, but come on.
Yeah, it's dedication. It's dedication.
It is
to the company.
dedication. But now
He's
he's
across
not going to wake up early enough.
Like he's across the pond, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
He's across a few ponds.
Where is he from?
Dubai.
Wow.
It's like, I think
Since you're in Dubai, Collusion,
Oh dang.
one of them expensive cars you got over there, you know, the racing type cars.
Oh yeah.
Everybody in Dubai is rich.
Mm-hmm. I saw this thing where Dubai is, instead of police cars, they're gonna have like these flying drone things that police can like drive
believe
around. And they're gonna use that instead of like just normal police cars.
Well, yeah, it's probably safer to have the drones fly around instead of chasing a Bugatti with another
Yeah.
Bugatti.
I mean, that's true. They go like 16 miles per hour too. I mean, you can look it up. It's like this cool, like little 4-bladed little like copter thing that they sit on. It's kind of interesting, honestly.
Wow, that seems pretty neat.
I just want to see a bunch of drones flying around with tasers attached.
Now you're talking about Star Wars. Why don't you just
Hold
say
on,
you want,
hold on.
like,
Every time I hear about like drones and things like that, I just Terminator, Skynet, just
See, that's why you keep them all remote controlled.
you see, come on, that don't work. Don't work.
It does work. If you don't give them a brain, they can't do anything. You just keep it all remote controlled. No robot revolts. But
Computers always have brains.
I do want to say something about that. A few years ago, like I think 2, I was just reading up on like AI stuff. So there is there's some algorithm or something. I'm saying something a lot. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I forgot what it's called, but it's basically the time to where technology gets so advanced that a new entity is created. Sadly, I'm scared for that. And sadly, that time is going to be here in about 30 years.
What kind of new entity are we talking about?
Like an AI that's pretty much a person.
Like iRobot?
Yes.
Like Ultron or Vision?
Like Skynet, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like...
And about 35 years from now, we are going to see that.
That's
and
cool.
I'm terrified for that day.
Nah, that'll be alright. We'll be alright. Trust me, we'll be alright.
It'll be alright until... The problem with all that stuff comes until the hackers break into some server.
Exactly.
And like the terrorists who attacked the U.S. in 2001, you're going to get terrorists or hackers that going to do that and then turn the entire world of AI against the human counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
The human species is simply going to be extinct because, like, hackers are little geniuses that can work by themselves, and the government takes hundreds of people to come up with one idea that one hacker did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, hackers already are terrifying because, like, we're starting to get like self-driving cars. They can hack those and make them go off the road.
Yeah, that's scary.
People have what?
No, I was saying that's the thing about everything. Everything is so generated through computers or internet connection now. You know what I mean? So it can take just imagine if somebody just actually reset everything and decided, you know what, forget about computers. Instead of just taking over computers, let's forget about them all. Let's just fry every server instead of just one.
It's like season 6 of Arrow.
You know what I mean? It's like I was having a discussion with some of my girlfriend's parents earlier about smartphones, and when the first smartphone came out, I remember we were at work at Verizon. They came out with a T1, it was called. And my friend had it at work. And he was like, yo, this phone is dope. And I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. And I was like, you're going to see that within the next 10 to 15 years, people are not going to be as reliant as they used to be on. They're not going to be as self-reliant. Everything's going to be at the palm of their hand. But yet, everything's not going to be true. And I told him this back in like 2000.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, think about.
Definitely true.
I mean, Malid. I mean, you and I are very similar in age. Think about the technology we had with kids, and then look at the technology that like my kids have today. It's completely out of this world. Nothing we could have thought of when we were that young. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember that when I was like, literally, this is going to show our age. When I was like 10 years old, was like the time remote control cars came out cordless. Yes. Like, I was still playing Nintendo at that time. You know what I mean? Like,
remember when the first cell phone came out and the brick, or the first car phone, I think might have been right around the same time that the brick cell phone came out?
Yeah.
The first cell phone was a briefcase.
Oh, yeah. It was that big briefcase thing.
Yes.
It was a huge phone. Like, but everybody thinks of the Zach Morris phone from Saved by the Bell.
Yo.
Some of y'all may not know, but you got to watch Saved by the Bell.
Nope, I started.
Oh my god! Look, I'm sure it's on Netflix or Hulu or something. I'm sure you'll be able to find it, but it's Saved by the Bell. It's not too hard. It's kind of funny, actually.
I've heard about it. I don't know what it is though.
It's a teenage comedy show about kids in high school. And, you have your characters in the show. One's the spoiled rich kid. One's the sports guy. One's the nerd. The cute female. And then the stuck-up female. And the brainiac female. And it's a high school show, but it's a comedy high school show.
Gotcha.
I can't believe, like, you guys really are making me feel old. I can't believe you don't know what it is.
I've heard about it. I just don't know what it. I mean, I'm still a kid of high school, man. I don't know none of this. And it's
I
really
deal with it
weird.
every day.
It's weird for me because you guys are talking about like how different technology is and how advanced it is now. Well, I'm scared of how I will be in like 20 years because like if I say that, then who knows where it's going to take us and what all it's going to do next. Like it's honestly pretty scary to me. Like
There's only one failure technology has made in my entire life, and I'm really, 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 really bummed out that we don't have them at this time. Because I was hoping that when I was watching Back to the Future, and he hit the dial on his car, and it said 2015 or 2018, we were gonna have flying cars.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, my
And
flying
how about the hoverboard too? Don't forget.
hoverboard. I want the hoverboard. Oh, you
Well,
see?
actually,
Appointments.
me and my friends in high school designed a working hoverboard. But sadly, it could only be used at hoverboard parks because it worked on magnetism.
Nice. Hey, thanks for the follow, Mulatto Master.
Worked only at hoverboard park.
Well, yeah, because the only way that we could figure out how to do it with technology now is electromagnetism, and so
Is
you would
that-
have hoverboard parks where it'd be like a skate park, except the floor would be metal.
So it's kind of like the same thing with how there's like those those floating like speakers and stuff. So like kind of that same type of thing is what you were thinking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, we
But
had to build stuff for drafting and design, and we came up with that.
Oh, that's cool.
But if you look at the movie and you look at when he puts his foot in the hoverboard, that's what it looks like on the back. It's like a big, huge magnet
Yeah,
Right.
on the back.
Well, you know how in the back, I'm pretty sure it was the first one, how he put on those Nikes that lit up and that
The
instantly-
self-lacing.
Yeah, they
Just-
have that now.
Yeah, they
have
do.
that now.
they've had
Yep.
light up shoes forever.
No, the self-lacing ones. Now
Self-lacing.
they're not.
Self-lacing one.
They're not as fast, and they go pretty slow. But I mean, they're still self-lacing, and they're like $20,000. But I mean, they got them, and they all go to his charity. What is it? Parkinson's, I think. Does he have
Yeah.
Parkinson's? Okay, yeah. They all go to his charity. So everything that he's done is cool, and Nike was able to just make it over the years. So I mean, you kind of got somewhat of the future.
Yeah.
About the microwave.
Right.
Like a little bean and a big Supreme pizza came out.
Right. No, we ain't got there yet. Yeah,
Oh,
but
I
we
wish
put
we had
food in
that.
his box and he gets out.
Hey, we have Totino's pizza.
This one
That's
is-
true. That's true. That.
I had one of those yesterday. They're so good.
Time out. Before we even continue, I wasn't looking. My eyes were closed because I was laughing. Was that TrX who said
Who said what?
the Totino pizza? Was that TrX?
Yes, that was TrX.
You want to know
Taco
why
Bell.
I know? You want to know why I know? Because it's the Taco Bell guy. That's
Bro.
why.
Oh, here we go.
What do you have
Here we
against
go.
Totino's pizza?
Here we go. Oh my goodness.
Hey, thanks for the
Donuts
sub,
pizza's pretty
Squish.
good.
Appreciate you. 2 months in a row. Thanks for the sub, Squish.
Thanks for the sub, Squish. Funny
There's-
your own business, but I mean,
There's nothing
Yes.
wrong with Totino's pizza. It's $5 for like 8 of them.
And it's delicious because I could eat that all day.
Dude,
Same.
I'm so unhealthy.
You know what, Malid? I'm gonna go make one after the podcast.
Oh no.
You're not going to get Taco Bell today?
Nope. Well, I mean, I probably was,
Why
but
did you have
we're not
to?
going out anymore.
You see, Navy, I almost had him eating something else, but then you go and remind him of the Taco Bell.
Well, I'm not gonna go get Taco Bell because I gotta feed my dogs and stuff. So I might as well.
He was working perfectly until Navy Brat messed it all up. Branching the whole.
Oh god.
Look, Taco Bell is bad. It's good for the cheap and poor people like me.
Same. Except I'm actually poor.
So am I. I mean, I put it like this: I own a house, I own 2 cars, I have 2 kids and a wife. So I'm not necessarily poor, but I never have no spending money because I'm married.
Hey, you know what I
Your
own?
wife got the spending money, is what you're saying?
Exactly. I mean, happy wife, happy life. Just remember that for you youngins.
I own nothing.
My dad tells me that all the time.
Sorry, I don't believe in
Hey,
anything.
Colton, appreciate the sub, Colton. 2 months in a row also. Appreciate you.
Funding their own companies.
Yeah, they're funding our company. We're part of this.
Paying their own paycheck.
When's the revolution?
As soon as we get our first paycheck.
Perfect.
The revolution?
But Censorious, you know about the revolution.
No, I don't.
You definitely do.
I know about a revolution.
We'll fill you in.
Yeah.
We talking about the American Revolution? I'm taking American history. I can tell you.
No, we're talking revolution like we own the place.
Oh, I think I may know about that.
The guillotine.
I think you did.
Oh, yeah, then I know about it.
What?
Everybody got quiet.
I don't know what you said.
Yeah, I was confused. All right. So another thing special about this particular podcast is that we have more guests.
Yay!
Yay!
I don't know if they're ready though, so I probably shouldn't have announced that.
Nah, they're ready.
Well, one of them's ready. I don't know where the other one is.
We're good.
One here.
He's ready.
Let's see.
Well, hey, Volt, why don't you introduce yourself, buddy, while I see if I could get the other one in here. What?
All right.
What's up, Volt?
What's up, guys?
Hello there. So, what do you do for us?
Currently, at the moment, I'm the competitive Call of Duty player. Well, point obvious, but I'm the competitive Call of Duty player for SRM Gaming. My primary role is to be an SMG OBJ player, and I mean that's basically about it. I can't really say much because I don't know what else to say. But I mean,
It's cool.
Someone's
So what got you into
you said what got me into competitive?
Yeah.
Well, I had always loved playing video games since I had a Super Nintendo back in first grade. And like since then, that's all I've ever wanted to do. Like when I was younger though, I never really thought much about competitive gaming and a competitive scene to the point of like ever being able to make money off of it. Everybody always used to like say, I was always told like, hey, video games are rot your brain, all this other crap. And this coming from this fact that like watching learning that there's actually a competitive scene for a game that I like to play a lot, it makes you want to do something about that and try and do that for yourself.
That's awesome, man. It's definitely competitive gaming has definitely come out and exploded on the scene in the past few years, and it's still somewhat carrying the stigma of like nerds or geeks or whatever. But I think a lot more people are becoming more and more accepting of competitive gaming because, I mean, look at us. We've all grown up with video games. It's becoming more widely popular with the populace of the world, if you will, because we've all grown up. So it's definitely a good thing that's coming out. And like I read a report, and they said the esports industry is projected like a $1.2 billion industry this year alone, and it just continues to grow as the year comes out.
It's grown a lot.
Definitely.
And I definitely also agree with that. I mean, right now you look at the way everything is being streamed, it's on a worldwide basis. You know what I mean? Like They started with Call of Duty. They were doing competitions at the X Games. Like, think about that. The X Games was an extreme sport for bikers, skateboarders,
motorcycles.
And then all of a sudden now computer gaming was part of the X Games. And then it got so big in just the X Games alone that people were just going for the gaming that they created their own venue for gaming on ESPN.
Right.
It's like the most popular thing streamed on Twitch.
Right, for sure. I want to ask Volt a question, and Malid, I want you to respond to it also, but let Volt answer first. I read, it was probably a couple months ago, but I read that they are talking about including esports competition into the Olympic Games. What do you think of that?
Well, I feel like we should be able to, like, it's basically it's supposed to be a competition of like the best people from all over the world or best teams in like sports. And I mean, I'd agree with it, but like it depends on what game would it be if they would ever do something like that. Like, real talk. Like, what game would it have to be? Like, I mean, you look at the competitive scene now. You have, and like the top 3 games that I know that would ever be decent enough for something like this, like would be Rainbow Six Siege or Overwatch or Call of Duty. Because I mean, those right now are like some of the most watched games that I know of, unless you play Halo. There's that too. But like the main ones that I can see would be those 3. I mean, because Rocket League, it's 3v3. I don't really see it getting a lot. Like, it's the Rocket League esports scene has exploded a lot this year. I'll give them that. But I just don't see it getting the notoriety that Call of Duty, Halo, and Rainbow Six Siege itself is starting to earn. So it would be for like, and well, Overwatch too, but for a game to be in the Olympics, I feel like they would do a Call of Duty team for that. If video games were in the Olympics, I mean, unless you do something retarded like Mario Kart, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, definitely. I think it would probably be more like Rocket League, more Fortnite, Call of Duty type games rather than like a racing game. Malid, what's your view on that, bro?
Well, what I would personally think it would be more like I wouldn't see esports in the Olympics, in the sports Olympics. I would rather see esports having its own Olympics, where something like both that you would have different games, different genres of video games. Street Fighter having its own kind of tournament. Tekken had like the fighting genre having their own tournament, racing having their own tournament, things like that. To where it's just esports, because if you put in esports next to swimming, ain't nobody gonna watch no esports.
Right.
I'm just real. Swimming has been around for centuries. You know what I mean? It's like that's why these people go to these venues. They've been training yearly. And I'm not taking away anything that we do here in esports, because we train. You know what I mean? Our players, they practice and they put in those hours. What I'm saying is just, if it was an esports Olympics thing, it would be more watched, because that's the main focus. So you're going to have,
I was going to say, so you're okay for them to be Olympic sports since they have like Summer Olympics and then 2 years later Winter Olympics, if esports had its own Olympics rather than be included with like the Summer Olympics.
Exactly. Because it's just esports oriented. It's just, the focus is that. You know what I mean? So you're going to have Twitch there. You're going to have, a lot of major companies, a lot of different sports, different gamers from different, like I said, different genres of games all meeting up together. It's kind of like the Olympics. You have everybody from different sports meeting up in one country to go ahead and compete against each other from around the world. And that's what I think an esports Olympics would look like, the same thing.
It'd be pretty awesome. And I think they'd probably get just as much, if not more, views because of the younger generation being so interested in esports if the Olympic Committee decided to do it that way. I completely agree with you, though. There's no comparison to the physical fitness of an athlete who's swimming to the physical fitness of an athlete who's competing in esports. It's two completely different things.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I look at baseball. Baseball is a sport that it's recognized worldwide. It's played everywhere. Korea, China, Japan, Mexico, of course in the States.
Yankees
and
still suck.
They're not in the Olympics. Don't even
Right.
don't. We're not gonna go there.
Oh,
I'm not even gonna go there, but whatever. But it has its own thing. It has the World Baseball Classic, where
Right.
every country gets their best and they represent their country in this tournament right before the season starts every 4 years. It happens. So baseball has their own thing, So each sport is starting to do their own thing. I mean, the NBA, of course, has it in the Olympics, so they do their thing every 4 years in the Summer Games. Hockey does the same thing in the Winter Games. So I think if esports is going to do something, it should be in that kind of way. Maybe do it every 2 years instead of every 4 years, because in esports, teams change so fast. Companies are good in organizations are good in one game for a year or two, and then they're not there. So if they did an esports Olympics, I think it would be something every 2 years rather than every 4 years. And just once again, just every tournament you can think of, just under one roof. Like, just think about that. Like,
for sure,
500,000 gamers just in one spot.
Right.
Just ballistically playing games everywhere you go.
That'd be awesome.
Like, I catch Tourette's, I wouldn't know what to do.
Right,
I
for
have
sure.
I'd just be lost.
So, getting back to you, Volt. How long have you and your team members been gaming together, man?
So me and the current COD team at the moment, we have actually been teaming together since, I'd say, within the first or second week of Black Ops 4 being out. As soon as the game came out, I didn't even have a team. Like, it wasn't working out that well, and Marcus, Ralphie, whatever everybody likes to call him. He finally hit me up. I finally had somebody hit me up on Twitter. He was one of them, and he wanted me to play with them, see how good we do, and coming out of straight just dealing with him and 3 other randoms that I didn't even know. Well, one of the main randoms is his friend Kent, but at the same time I didn't really know them, so to me they were random. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was too, but still.
Right.
We had been playing together since, like I said, since the first week and a half, and we starting off, it was just everything was solid. It seemed like we had no problems for S&D, because I mean at the time that's basically all we played before we got a full focus for every other game mode before the CWO hit.
Nice.
I have a
Good deal. Hey, Phillies. Just want to throw that out there.
I have a quick question I want to ask.
Yeah.
Watching you guys play, it's been great. Like when I first saw you guys play, the communication was just awesome. It was there. It was on point. Like I always tell you guys, the increasing of the gameplay has been great. My question to you more is a kind of a personal question. What made you choose COD or Call of Duty over any other first-person shooter game that was out there? Was it because it had more of the competitive style gaming, or what drew you more to playing Call of Duty?
Well, starting off for Call of Duty, I used to go spend the night with family in the town over, and my little cousin, of course, because his dad makes money, and I didn't have a job, so I couldn't afford the stuff that I have now. he had a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 and all that. We used to play Call of Duty over there. And like the thing was like, because this was when like after the PS4 came out, like he finally got one, and the first game he had for it was Ghost. So we were playing that, and we would actually play against each other with like the bots and everything. And it like playing that's what got me wanting to compete, but I never really thought anything of it at the time. But the main reason why I chose Call of Duty is because it was the quickest thing that I actually learned. Because I didn't play games like Halo or Siege till I ever got an Xbox when I was younger. Like when I first started working at McDonald's, I bought an Xbox 360, and the first title I had on it was Ghost because that's what everybody was playing at the time. And I joined an old clan. I really forgot the name for it, and like we would actually go over like once we figured out it's like, hey, we actually work good together. Let's start like making up call outs and everything. It's like after that we got to learn. We went over call outs like we should. Like I don't know if we've been doing it recently. We probably need to. We got to go over call outs, and like they're easy to remember. Like even if you call it something else, if you're playing with like another person who calls it something else, as long as you can understand, it's like it's this general area of the map that this person's at, but they're calling it something else, then you can easily understand what it is and pick it up that quick. Like I did it. Like a friend of mine, me and him started playing Halo 5, but of course my first Halo was Halo 3. We started playing Halo 5, and I figured that I actually was starting to get better with it for just a little bit, but it was still going to take me time to like fully learn that game to get on a level that you would see people like Nick Kirshner or anybody like else from the classic competitive Halo scene would ever know now. And games like Rocket League, they're not that. I mean, Rocket League is just a whole bunch of like, yeah, there's a bunch of basic stuff to it, but the way that the professionals play it, there's like a whole bunch of like super advanced stuff to it as well. Like you can look at somebody and it's like, yeah, they may just play a game where you're just driving a car around to play soccer, but the stuff that can actually be done, like the physics in that game, are way beyond what you can actually think they are.
So it's just like basically more of the gameplay, the pace of the game, and the fact that it was more of a quicker game for you to learn, that you were able to pick it up so easily.
Exactly.
I think when I started playing Call of Duty, it was more because of the zombies. That's what got me kind of addicted to the game.
Same.
I was never really that much of a zombies player because, like, when I first started playing competitive, I was so worried about getting better that I never really focused on zombies. But like going back and watching old zombies videos, like learning the storyline of how there's like different dimensions, that's what got my interest in zombies as well.
Storyline's crazy now. Like
if you want to wait, what? Oh god! If you wanna hear more about the storyline, you should play some zombies with me, and we could do some Easter eggs.
You got a PS4?
Yo, I'm down for some zombies after the podcast. I'm just saying.
I wish you guys played on Xbox and I could roll with.
Look, you see now, maybe I had to mess it all up, man.
Dang, gotta ruin it.
I know.
Listen, not to try to like throw a wrench into the interview really quick, but I just need to say something to Navy, bro. I was talking to my girl earlier today, and I was like, listen, I think Navy Bat's gonna hate me by the end of the day. And she was like, why? I was like, because he's from Philly, or he's a Philly fan, like he's an Eagles fan. I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm a Yankees fan.
We're just not made to get along, but we do.
Work. Like he likes Ford cars. I don't. Like it's just, I don't know how this relationship is gonna work, bro.
No, I'll pick Chevy over Ford all day.
I could deal with that. I could work with that. That's better. I could work with that. I would rather see Dodge, Ram. But it's okay. We can work with Chevy.
Look, man, I'll wear my Carson Wentz jersey. Your Zeke Elliott shirt.
Oh man.
We can go sit at the bar and drink a beer, and I won't shoot you. Even from Philly, I promise.
I'm from New York, boy.
I wasn't paying attention. What happened?
We good. We both.
Like we good.
We good.
Let's get back to vote. We ain't forget about you, bro. Sorry about that.
We're really good at getting off on a tangent.
Oh yeah.
So.
I have another question for you. So with the way that the team is now, how do you see the progression, let's say within the next 6 months? Like what is your perspective? Like what do you hope to see within the next 6 months? What do you like to achieve as being part of this team and organization?
Well, what I would mainly like to see, and I can kind of see it now, is that we learn to not make so many small mistakes. Like there would be times like when that glitch was mainly happening with the custom games glitch, where we would show up as each other's enemies and the enemy would show up as our friendlies.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, we would end up shooting each other until like we realized it's like, hey, you're shooting at like your teammate. Because most of the time, like you're in a situation where you're not paying attention to your mini map, so you're not knowing what's going on around you, and then when your teammate is basically on the other side of the map, you plant the bomb, you sit back and you wait because you're expecting an enemy to come get it, but yet when your teammate shows up and his name doesn't appear over his head like you could actually do, like most enemies would.
Yeah,
it seems like a little odd, and your first reaction is to shoot that person because you're not seeing the blue icon above his head.
Seeing the blue, exactly. I've had it happen so many times. Times.
And like what I mainly hope to see us improve on is our respawn game. Like last night, the boys were playing Pro Points game. They first map was Gridlock Hardpoint. That used to be a trouble map for us for sure. Can't remember the S&D map, but I know their third map, which they took to control, was Gridlock as well, and they won that one 3-2 because from what I was told, that they had stopped playing with their heads up their behinds and actually like did smart stuff. And like what I want and what I need to work on myself is mainly like most of the time it's reacting to our call outs as well. Our team captain Mully cannot stress that enough. Sometimes it's like he'll call something out, and I'll be real, like if we're playing S&D on firing range and I'm sitting here helping out somebody A, they call out, there's like, hey, there's 3 guys down here on B bomb. There have been times where we haven't reacted enough, and that person that's down there by himself possibly gets killed without having to trade. And
I mean, with things like that, those things will come with communication. As you guys play, practice communication. That all brings, team chemistry. It's just like any sport. You got a new pitcher who joins a baseball team. His first time out there, he's more nervous than the rest of the team because he's got to perform to a level and trust the 9 people behind him to help him win this game. It's like the quarterback of a new team. Whether he's a rookie or it's his first game, it's the same thing. He's got to trust those front 5. You know what I'm saying? They gotta protect that guy behind him. That's their job, but he's got to trust that they're going to do that job. And it's kind of that's how the way it is in sports, and that's what I love about sports. That unless you're playing, it's like literally a solo team sport, there's always the team aspect to it, and there's always that trust that you're gonna have to have with your teammate. And that's the communication. That's where the chemistry comes, and you build on that. It's friendships. You know what I'm saying? You're forming a bond and a family basically between each other, and that those things come with time.
Right.
And that improves gameplay. That improves the trust on them, knowing that if I go and I'm gonna flank, I know that he's gonna come and pinch to the other side. And I know I don't have to worry whether he's going to die or not, because I trust that he's going to make it and he's going to meet me on the other side.
Right.
As those things come with time, it comes like it'll get there. That's the trust that I have with my team.
And for like the last part of it, the one thing I mainly want to see us improving on is just winning our gunfight. There have been a lot of times when, and I'll admit to it myself, like you'll see us go negative, like me and Marcus. Most of the time will be the main ones negative. I'm not even gonna deny it. It's sometimes you'll get the first shot, but it just seems like if you just miss 1 or 2 bullets and they just snap on you, man, you're dead.
Hey, I gotta stop you there.
Hey, Matt,
thank you, Matt,
thanks
for the
Holy
1,000.
crap. Thanks for the 1,000
you,
biddies,
Matt.
Matt.
Wow, awesome! Thank you, sir.
All of a sudden, we got #1 biddy supporter. The big dog. No, thank you so much, Matt.
Very much appreciate it. Sorry to cut you off there, Vault.
Oh no, y'all are good.
No, but and I definitely understand that. And that's whether you're playing GBs or whether you're playing pubs. It's just something in the game. If you miss that very first shot, I mean, and it's just the accuracy thing. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I'll be like, yo, how did he snipe 3 people so fast? Like, how did I get shot? That's not possible. And then you see the replay. It's like, dude, how? How are you quick scoping that quick? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's no way. He shot you 2 times. I shot you 3 times. You should have been dead.
Right.
And Miss Ivy, all the emotes.
Now I'll give Mully the credit where it's due. He's a really good COD player. I'm not saying that just because he's my captain and everything. No, he's pretty good. Like, what I feel like, and he's probably said this before, that there should be no reason that we should ever underperform, because most of the time you will literally see him come out on top of every game. There have been, he'll be the one usually dropping the most kills. There'll be those times where it's like we all have our breakout games, but Molly, most of the time, his main thing is always having a breakout game.
Oh, no, his breakout game's like 60 kills.
Right. And
like, come on. Like, that's insane.
Right. It's just ridiculous because it's like your captain is sitting here going off, but at the same time, if I remember right, I don't know his role exactly. If I remember right, it's the whole Slayer role. Like, I don't know that much well. Like, he, of course, he goes around and gets kills, and he'll know he knows that map awareness enough to know where this person's possibly going to be. Like, if there's a reason that Mully is ever negative, it's just he's probably having an off day, or he's just not warmed up or something. But every game I've seen him play ever since teaming with him, he's always been known to go off. Like, I honestly have yet to see him at the bottom of the leaderboard.
And that's why, there's gonna be progression. I have so much faith in the team, and that's why it's good to have one of you guys on here to represent that team for us as well, to let them know that we are out here to compete. We are out here to get to that spot and be those professional gamers. We're all here for a reason. Right now. All right. So, is there anybody else who has any other questions for Volt?
I don't think so. Any question I'll ask, I won't understand his answer.
Malid, I heard you talking with Volt. them acronyms you use like pubs or BL or whatever it was that you said. What's all that mean?
Pubs is like the public games. So when you're playing Call of Duty and you first go on, you can go to public match. That's what pubs is. You're playing with just everybody across the entire world. You get put into a match with your ranking, and you play with people within your rank. As you grow and you increase in rank, you play with people who are within your rank. And in public matches, you have different game modes. You have team deathmatch, where it's just straight 6-on-6. The teams of 6 going at it. First team to get to 75 kills wins. You have domination, where there's 3 points, and you have to control the points. The team who controls the points with the most time wins, and then they do 2 halves. So there's a bunch of different game modes that you can play within public matches. GBs is game battles. That's when you get more into a competitive style of the gaming, where you're playing for pro points and you're playing kind of competitive play. So there's a different rule set. When you're playing public matches, you can play with all of the game and what it has. When you're playing game battles and you're playing competitive, there's different rules. So certain attachments or certain maps are, you can't play in. You can't use certain weapons or certain special abilities for, your soldier, your character that you're using. So that's what I'm referring to when it's game battles or pubs. When I say GBs or pubs, it's game battles and public gaming.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for explaining that. I didn't know, so I thought maybe some of our viewers might not have known.
I knew about 8 words that you just said.
Well, because we're not talking Spider-Man, I get it.
Right. Oh no!
Exactly.
He needs a new. Keep telling him that he doesn't want. You know what? I'm kind of disappointed in TrX at this point. He still has not watched Batman, original Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson Batman. He refuses.
Even I know that. That's a classic. You don't know where you're going to go with Batman unless you know where you've been, okay? You have to watch it.
I've seen that. I saw it on that.
See, here's the thing. Batman, nobody cares about him anymore because they ruined him in the movie.
Oh, you're so full. You're so full of it.
No, you're not. That's stupid.
Oh. Dude, I can't believe you said that. You just
nobody cares. I mean, I don't care about him anymore.
You just hurt me right now. You said
so what you said is nobody cares. You didn't say nobody cares. You said a nobody.
Hey, excuse you.
That is tough.
I'm worried about one superhero right now, and that is Spider-Man.
You know what? I don't even want to hear that, TrX. I don't even want to hear that.
We're done.
So,
all right, well,
I just want to say thank you, Volt, for coming on to the podcast and being our interview and point of focus for this section of the podcast. Is there any last words you wanted to say before your final wave goodbye?
There really isn't, but I will just say that y'all can go subscribe to Helios D2B on YouTube and follow the Twitch channel at vote_CWL. That will possibly be it, because I will be streaming. I do stream most of our scrims and tournaments there as well.
Awesome.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Yeah!
He's just saying
boo.
No,
boo. He's just kissing your butt.
No, for real, I do like Spider-Man and Batman were always my favorite too, because
Batman's
Superman,
better.
Dude, Batman,
You know what?
I'm
just gonna hold on. Time out.
It's a rock.
I'm gonna be real. Volt, you were so lucky. I'm not like the guy who has control. I would have just cut you off right now. Like, you ever seen? I don't know if everybody ever seen like Around the Horn. It's a sports show that used to be on ESPN. Like, and he would just mute people when they would say something he didn't like. He was just like mute. That's what I was thinking about right now. As soon as he said Spider-Man, I would have just mute. Just.
It's a good thing I'm the only one in here that can do that.
Oh no. Oh, that means it's a terrible thing.
Ow!
Anytime Spider-Man's mentioned, you have to hear about it.
Oh my god, sometimes too much.
Mm-hmm.
There's never too much.
Definitely too much.
All right. Well, it was nice having you, Bolt.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Nice having you, man.
Hey, make sure everybody goes to that straw poll that I put in. This is the most important one that I've posted other than the
Oh,
Taco
it's
Bell one.
already. What is this? Okay.
Phillies.
Well, no, not that
Alright.
one.
Oh, okay.
That one. Spider-Man or
Okay.
Batman? Spider-Man is
Batman.
currently winning.
Batman.
Batman.
I need people to come help me. It's 3-1. Oh god, 2-2.
Oh
I'm
no.
done with the Spider-Man. I'm done with the Spider-Man for the day. We did enough Spider-Man.
It's Batman. It's Batman. See, even if my vote
I
was
don't know.
Spider-Man, you killed it over the last 4 weeks.
I
TrX.
don't care. Okay, you can say what you want, but The Dark Knight will beat any Spider-Man movie, no doubt about it.
Oh, all day. All day.
Not the
That
new
movie was
Spider-Man
amazing.
movies.
I don't know. I don't want to.
No, oh yeah, still the new Spider-Man movie.
But also, I do want to point this out. The
Nope.
two movies,
Nope.
or the two trilogies, are too different to compare.
Listen,
What do you mean?
listen. The Dark Knight, where Heath Ledger's Joker is the
Best
greatest
movie.
Batman ever. And there
Oh,
is
yeah.
no other superhero movie that you can get in the history of superhero movies that's better than that. I've watched them all. I don't care what you say. That was the greatest Batman movie I've ever seen. Number
Spider-Man
two,
Homecoming.
you know what? You said TrX. I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
Uh-huh.
Spider-Man.
Uh-huh. I
Dark
just voted.
Knight was 1,000 times better than Spider-Man
update.
Homecoming.
I just voted.
Even the Dark Knight Rises was better than Homecoming. Homecoming was good. It was a good movie, but it's not on that level.
See, and here's another thing about it. You can't truly judge a trilogy against a potential trilogy.
Okay.
No.
Because-
Let's do one movie then.
I don't want to hear
All
that.
right,
I don't want to
one
hear that.
movie.
One movie then. The
One
Dark
Miss
Knight.
Ivy,
versus
thanks for the
Spider-Man
follow,
Homecoming.
Miss Ivy.
The Dark Knight
Versus
compared to
Homecoming.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
First thing, one, super hard to compare them because they are two completely different movies.
You see, I knew
And
he was
also-
going to do this.
Yeah, here we go.
No,
The excuse.
also, another thing. It's hard to compare the first of a trilogy to something that's in the middle. We could compare Batman.
Listen, no. I don't want to hear none of that.
No,
okay?
no,
Look,
okay. We
I don't
can
wanna
still
hear
compare
none of
Batman
that.
Begins
At
to
all.
Spider-Man Home. No, here's the thing though. Spider-Man Homecoming is basically the middle because it doesn't give the origin story. No,
It's
I mean
definitely
kind of, not
the
really.
middle.
So
It is
it's
like-
more after.
It's like 3 months after he became Spider-Man.
Okay, that's not the
Listen,
origin.
This is all
That would
this is
still-
all I have to say.
One Betty, thank you.
This is what I have to say about the whole Batman Spider-Man thing right now. They both take place in the same city. Gotham and New York is the same city.
Yeah.
It is the
there.
same city.
Mhm.
I lived there for 25 years. I know. Like, it's the same exact city. The only difference is that Batman is portrayed as a darker city, and in Spider-Man, it's just
Oh,
regular, everyday New York. And Batman is a regular human being who is a vigilante and beats up crazy, insane mutant people for fun every day. Spider-Man has powers. And he does this because he thinks that, with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah, we've heard that plenty.
So you have to understand also that Batman's a grown man. Peter Parker's a kid, basically. He was a teenager when he got bit, goes into college, and by the time he's in college, he's been a superhero for 5 years. Batman has been Batman like his whole life. He's just been waiting for a reason to let this out. You know what I mean? So he's got a reason to do it, and he does it. He gets away with it. I don't know how, and he does it. I just think Batman's more awesome than Spider-Man is.
I like the thing. Okay, the thing that truly makes Batman what it is for me is his villains, because I think he has the best villains
Oh,
of any superhero. Because I mean,
Poison Ivy is my favorite.
The
Even,
Riddler
like,
sucks.
even the Joker alone is like considered the best villain of all time. So even him alone is better than most other comic book villains. And then you have people like Two-Face.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
And that's what I think it is.
He's probably the Joker is probably the most recognizable villain.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
he's loved by a lot of people.
The
I don't want to say
Joker,
the best, but I think that the villains and the whole like Bat family thing is really kind of what makes Batman him.
Yes, you're right, and I get that. I see that because when you think about Batman, he does have a lot of villains. However, to say that he has the best villains, I don't know all about that. I got to put that on timeout. And that's why I get Spider-Man.
What villain would you say is better than like Joker or Penguin, Poison Ivy? Like those three are so iconic to anybody even related or interested in comics. Like those three villains are awesome.
And I understand that. But those three people, only one person can stand in the same pedestal as the name that I'm about to drop when it comes to evil villains in comics.
It's going to be Superman.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a human. Now you can take everybody. You can have Two-Face. You can have Riddler, the Penguin, Croc. Line them up all the way up to the Joker. The only person who stands toe to toe with Lex Luthor is the Joker. Everybody else does not fall in line.
I give you that.
I think the reason that is because of it, because he's Superman's villain and just how crazy Superman is. That's what I think that. I totally understand what you're saying, but I think whenever you have a thing like Superman who can do pretty much whatever he wants, you have to make a villain like that. So I totally understand what you're saying, and I think he's an amazing villain. I just think, and he's definitely better than he's definitely better than like Croc and like even Penguin. Honestly, definitely 100%. But I think it's just because of the fact that Batman has multiple of really good villains that people like a lot of people love. That's multiple
iconic villains.
Yes,
and that's what makes them better. That's what makes them the best series of villains against any superhero. Is one icon after another icon after another icon. Like Lex Luthor, he's been there. He's good. He is up on a pedestal. But so is all them icon villains, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I understand what you're saying. That he has a very wide array of villains. I get that. But that's not what the argument or the debate was originally about. He said that he has the greatest set of villains. And I don't believe that because, if you go into Marvel Comics and you want to put evil villains against evil villains, I have to go with, this is when he gets to talk, TrX. Because Spider-Man has the greatest set of supervillains.
Yes!
One of his supervillains. Listen. One of his supervillains is just like Lex Luthor, and he's known as the Kingpin. The Kingpin is so big that he's not only Spider-Man's nemesis, he's Daredevil's nemesis, he's Punisher's nemesis, he's Luke Cage's nemesis, he's Wolverine's nemesis. And we're talking one man. Kingpin.
I get that. I get that.
TrX, you didn't even know that he was all there's.
Yeah, I did.
Spider-Man. No, you didn't.
But listen, but when somebody thinks of superheroes, they think about Batman, they think about Superman, they think about Spider-Man. They don't think about everybody else. So the one set of villains has to be Batman. It just has to be.
I'm sad you said that right now. When I think of superheroes, I think of Wolverine.
Yeah, me too.
When I hear Wolverine, I think of X-Men. I don't think of himself. He's a badass dude. He is my favorite X-Man. But
no, he's my favorite superhero.
The X-Men franchise is what made him.
Not true. Not true. Wolverine's very first comic book was not an X-Men comic book.
Yeah,
His very first comic book was a Wolverine comic. It said Wolverine on the cover. I
think that might be the case. That might be the case, but he was then included with the X-Men. He went from being by himself to being with the X-Men to being by himself again to get back up onto the pedestal.
No, he was by himself for a very full 2.5 years before joining the X-Men. Because when you first start reading about Wolverine, the first page, he wakes up in a forest full of snow. Like, that's how you're introduced to Wolverine. You don't know anything about him from that moment before. You know nothing. You just learn about that moment going forward, and you learn about his life. You learn about the time that he spent traveling through Canada and Alaska and just going from town to town and bar to bar and getting into fights and all of that. Like, that little condensed thing that they put in the movie is like the whole first year of Wolverine's series before he even joins the X-Men. So you learned a lot about him. He has a huge following before he even joined the X-Men. Joining the X-Men was like, everybody was like, yes, like, holy crap, he made it. Like, he made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
No, I was a comic book fanatic when I was a kid. Like, all I read was comic books and played Game Boy.
Game Boy's where was that? Even I played Game Boy. Game Boy was a GOAT.
It's the greatest handheld system ever.
Definitely.
Ever. Dude, that was the only thing that I know you can throw against the wall and it didn't break.
I would play all the Pokemon games. I would play. I don't even remember. I just remember playing the Pokemon games. I had. Let's see. It was like it was Leaf Green, Fire Red, and some other thing I don't remember.
I started with Yellow.
I had that for the Advanced. I remember that. I think they were the same thing, but I remember that Pokemon Yellow was really cool because that was the game that you started out with Pikachu, and everybody wanted Pikachu, so it was nice to be able to even have him, let alone just start with him.
See, like, my favorite Pokemon is Charmander.
Really?
That's my dude right there. Like,
Charmander's bad, dude. I love him.
He's shiny. When he's shiny, he's gold, and he turns and evolves, he's black.
I don't know. You're right, TrX.
Shut up.
He said not even paying attention in the chat. Come on, dude.
Damn. Thought I got away with it.
Nope. No, sir. Attention to detail, sir.
And this podcast.
What happened?
Can't do this.
See? He's not paying attention.
In the chat, TrX quit changing the subject since they know I'm right. Not even paying attention to the chat. They ain't as dedicated to me in the Twitch podcast chat.
Come on, dude. It's odd. I went ahead and proved you wrong.
I should have known Navy would have been paying attention.
Right? Don't you know me by now?
Oh man, I completely forgot what we were talking about.
Me too. Honestly,
We're talking about Pokemon.
Oh yeah, Pokemon was amazing, and I mean, I remember being 10 years old and waking up at 9 o'clock in the morning to watch the cartoons, and I loved them. I love the old cartoons. Saturday morning.
You know what cartoon I loved when I was a kid? I loved Pinky and the Brain.
You know what cartoon I loved? Spectacular Spider-Man.
Here we go.
No, you know what? I don't even want to hear that, TrX. I'm done.
We're talking
somebody
about
mute this guy. Somebody mute this guy.
Tom and Jerry. We're talking like classic cartoons, like Tom and Jerry.
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs, right? That's where it was at. Animaniacs.
Hold up, Gargoyles.
Oh my god, I love Gargoyles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Dude, I'm gonna get a Goliath tattoo and a Brooklyn tattoo. I'm gonna get a tattoo of Goliath holding Brooklyn with a chain.
Hey, Emma. Welcome back.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google
You don't belong here.
Barbaries. Yeah, because no. The greatest animated TV show about New York City I've ever seen. Forget Spider-Man, forget Batman, the animated series. Gargoyles. That's like Voltron. Forget Power Rangers, yo. Voltron.
TrX, you ain't gonna leave. Trust me. Or move us.
Try to have a conversation with chat right now.
He's hurt. Leave him alone. Someone leave his mic. Yeah, like I watched so many like animated and cartoons growing up. It's ridiculous. Like there's so many renditions of G.I. Joe.
Oh my God, G.I. Joe's a classic.
It's like Transformers too.
Oh, I had the original Transformer toys. You know how mad I am right now that I don't have.
I don't want to talk about toys. I don't want.
I know. I heard your comic book story, man. I feel for you. My heart is still hurting for you.
Listen, I haven't got something worse than that. Do you remember the gas station called Hess, the Hess Gas Company?
Yes.
They used to come out with trucks every year for Christmas.
Yes. I probably had like 10 or 12 of them.
I had them all in boxes because I used to get them every year from this youth center that I used to go to after. They gave me a Hess truck every year, and I had them in mint condition. And so it was like 3:00 in the morning one day in New York City, and my mom kicks down the bedroom door and grabs me and my brother, and we're running out the building. So everybody's outside. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm like 8 years old. The whole building just blew up. The boiler in the building blew up. So we all lost our apartments and our houses, right? So I think like 10 years ago, they were talking about the Hess trucks. And the original Hess truck right now is, I think, worth like $250,000 or something like that.
Oof. God.
So if you had the whole collection, like the whole collection's worth like something like $2.5 million or something.
Dang, you got two chances to be a millionaire. Both backfired.
Dude, I got my baseball cards. That's all I'm holding on to right now.
Hey, you got
keep them on you at all.
You got the rookie card for A-Rod?
No. I got DJ's rookie card. I have Nomar Garcia Parra's rookie card, Andrew Jones's rookie card, Graham Lloyd's rookie card, David Cohn's rookie card.
You got Michael Jordan's rookie card?
I never collected basketball cards or football cards.
No, he had a card made for baseball too.
Did he really?
No. He did. He played in Chicago White Sox.
Yeah.
I knew he played. I didn't know that he just had cards made.
He had the rookie season card made, and it was a very limited quantity. I forget the numbers exactly, so I ain't gonna say nothing about it. But he did have a baseball card.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't have it. I don't have that card. I have like Bo Jackson's rookie card.
Nice.
I have this beautiful Babe Ruth tribute and a Jackie Robinson tribute piece. My most expensive card that I have right now is a Ken Griffey card, and it's like a motion card. It shows his swing like by motion.
That's awesome.
I know he never played for the Yankees. I hate that.
You have to have that card like in a frame on the wall, like protected.
Oh, it's not even you don't even it's somewhere hidden. Nobody knows where it's at. That card's by itself. It's always in the spot I only know where it's at. Literally right now, that card's worth $2,500.
It's crazy how comic books or baseball cards or stuff like that is great, or even like video games like the Nintendo 64 and some of the titles that came out on that is ridiculous how much they're worth. But It goes back to that old homage saying that something is worth as much as someone will pay for it.
Oh, definitely.
Exactly. That's like, like people would say that you can make more, like you can make more from a penny. And I never understood that when I was a kid. I was like, what the heck? That makes no sense. Like, how can you make more from a penny? Like, I would always try to think about it. Like, what are you going to buy that's worth a penny that you can use to double to 2 pennies? Like, I just never understood that until I started to understand the concept that if you got a penny that was really old, at that point, it's worth more than a penny. So you can always get one penny. And so that's when I was like 15 years old when I started to understand that concept. And when you always think of something like that, you always can find the value in something, even when somebody else.
Oh yeah. And again, one man's trash is another.
Life lesson for today.
Wow. Yes, sir.
I need to start a business.
Yes, sir.
You should take
listen. Listen. Hear this. Hear this. Like, I never thought that I would literally be doing this. Like right now, people ask me what I do for a living. I don't tell them that I work at the Target Distribution Center. I tell them I work for SRM Gaming as the COD team manager. And people look at me and they're like, what?
That's what I say. I'm the general manager of SRM Gaming. It sounds it sounds better than I'm a warehouse worker for Best Buy.
Exactly.
I'm the CEO of SRM Gaming.
When people look at me and they're like, what? That brings exposure. Like, I let them know exactly what we do. You know what I mean? Like, I tell them about the gaming company, esports organization. And so they look at me and they're like, so wait a minute, you're going to get paid for playing video games? And I'm like, oh, no. I'm going to get paid for watching people play video games.
It's one step better.
That's even better.
I get paid to make sure people play.
But like,
I get paid to make sure you guys watch people.
Right? Like, it's like, just think about what you actually do for a living. Like, I think it's awesome. I love it. I mean, I tell people I love what I do every day. I would never want to do anything else. Like, this has always been my focus. So imagine that
for sure.
In a year from now, we can all be making 7 figures doing what we're doing right now.
Exactly. I mean, Censorious, we won't forget about you, man. We'll keep you with us for a little. If TrX keeps on talking about Spider-Man, he'll be on curve.
Hey, I'm gonna secure that Insomniac sponsorship, and y'all won't even be on my level.
Hey, I'm trying to help you with that too, man. On Twitter.
Look, he's gonna have to get that because with all the Spider-Man talk, ain't nobody else gonna want to do anything else. Sure, that's it. He limited himself and put himself in a box from the beginning.
I'm fine with that.
Right.
Yeah, this is just amazing to me. The progression of technology, the progression of video games, the progression of everything. Like literally a year ago, like 2 years ago, I was not watching streamers. 2 years ago, I was watching my very first Call of Duty tournament on TV. It was on the actual Major League Gaming cable station. Like, that's how I got introduced to Call of Gaming, competitive play for like big money. And when I first saw that, I was like, no way. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life. That right there. I want to get people to manage, to win games so we can just all make money and live this for the rest of our life. Like, I was blown away.
Right.
That would be so cool.
So, I never heard of a ninja. I was like, who's Ninja? Who's this guy everybody keeps talking about? And then I finally saw his game. I finally watched his stream. And I was like, oh, what the heck is this game? Like, what is Fortnite? I had no idea. I was like walking into a new world of computers that I've never seen before, you know? And
Right.
it just watching it to me, it was just fun. It was like, holy crap, wait, time out, what? This is like online on drugs, you know? Like, and I've been addicted to it. Like, honestly, I've been addicted to it ever since. I don't do anything else when I'm outside unless I'm literally hanging out with my girl watching TV. This is all I do.
Right, me too. My wife kind of gets mad at me sometimes because she's like, you get home from work and all you do is you concentrate on gaming, whether it's your Twitch channel or your organization stuff. Like that's what I said, baby. It's not all I do. I watch TV with.
Oh man,
it's because they don't understand. Like, this is what we were thinking about when we were kids in Navy. You know what I mean? This is
Right.
what we wanted to do when we were 13, 14 years old. For, you know, the generations that's 13, 14, 19, within that age right now, this is what they know because they grew up with this. To them, competitive gaming is just something that they know they can do. We didn't even think this was a possibility when we were kids. We were told to go to school and get a job.
But video games will get you nowhere in life. Yeah.
Yep.
I beg to.
And then we found that 15 years later, we find out they were wrong. Gosh damn it.
Right. Now, if only we stuck to our guns back then.
They be talking Malid, not Skunk. I'd be the greatest COD SMG player ever.
Oh, me too. Like back on Call of Duty World at War, like I was a beast at the game. I'm a big TDM player, and then like I was murking fools. But then I joined the military, became an adult, went to war, and so I took a break off from gaming for like 5 years. And when I when I got home from overseas and in the military, I picked it up, had a couple babies with the wife, and then I realized how much it's advanced since I had put the controller down last, and it's been crazy.
Yeah, like that happened the same thing. I played video games all the way until high school, until I was about 16 years old. And I was the Street Fighter champion. Like everywhere I went, every neighborhood, like I would just destroy everybody in Street Fighter. It's my greatest video game ever. And just at one point, I decided baseball was just a little bit more fun than video games, and I started getting into baseball. Played that for 3 years. Broke my wrist, and then stopped playing baseball. When I got back into video games, it had changed so much. There was like, oh, you can play like one player games. They're like not on levels. They're just like open world, like Tomb Raider and Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid. You know, those games were coming out, and I was like, oh, these games are awesome. And I completely forgot about sports games and racing games and first-person shooters for like a good 6 years, 6 to 7 years. I just stopped playing.
Right, and that's what, to be honest with you, the first competition, the televised competition I saw was Street Fighter, and they were using old joystick and buttons, and it was really awesome.
Dude, I can't see Street Fighter anymore. Like, if I ever try to play Street Fighter, I'm gonna be so mad that I didn't get to hit you. I'm gonna hit you with the controller. I've seen matches where people are destroyed in like 7 seconds. I'm like, that's not even fun.
Right, like why? But that's also why they're professional players. If they can whoop you down in 7 seconds and win that, like they deserve to be on that platform that they're on.
True, I understand. Because like when Street Fighter Alpha 2 came out and Akuma, the character Akuma came out, and he had that special move where the whole screen would just turn out black, and you would see the Chinese symbol for death show up on the screen, and you're dead. That's it. There was no coming back from that. Like, I would do that in the first round every time and just end the first round and just be up 1-0 before the clock went from 99 to 98, and people would be mad.
Right. I get it. That's what I enjoy watching games more like CS:GO and the COD 20s that I watch and everything. Those are a lot of fun. And Fortnite, I know Fortnite's really, really new on the scene, but those tournaments are amazing to watch. Just some of the shots that people can take and hit are ridiculous.
You see, Fortnite got me into having multiple screens to watch a game.
Yes.
Because in Fortnite, it's like, all right, you can watch one screen, but that's the only perspective you get. So it's kind of not fun.
Right.
Like, especially if they're playing with a team. Like, if they have 4 people, I want to see the whole team play. I just don't want to see one person.
Right, definitely. And that's why, especially with Twitch, now that they've set up that multi-Twitch streaming cable, you can tune in and watch all 4 people of the team as long as they're streaming from all their vantage points all at the same time. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome because once they start using that with Blackout too, it's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
all right, guys.
We never used to do any of that. Like, it's just so. To me, it's just so awesome. Like, I'm gonna continue to do this for the rest of my life. Like, you can't make a living off of video. Ooh.
Oh my goodness! If my parents knew then what they know now, I would be a millionaire by now.
Listen, when I told my mom what I was gonna be doing for a living, she was like, "Well, go ahead. That's what you always wanted to do. Like, make a living off of video games." I've been telling her that since I was 13 years old.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. How my wife gets mad at me sometimes. Like, but to be honest, she's probably one of my biggest supporters because I told her my goal is once I can start collecting a substantial paycheck, enough, like $40,000 a year from gaming, she can quit her job and be the stay-at-home homemaker that she wants to be. So she's benefiting from it too.
The Real Housewives of SRMG.
Right. Well, you gotta get you one, TrX.
I'm okay.
No, you're not.
That's way too much effort.
No, she cooks for me. She does my laundry.
I don't even want to hear this. Listen, hold on, time out. We're talking to Mr. Peter Parker here. He can't live without his Mary Jane.
Right. It's like, there's no Batman without the Joker. There's no Spider-Man without Mary Jane.
Mary Jane dies.
Well, then you get you a new.
I mean, he's got an order, like you said. It goes Mary Jane, Black Cat, and then Gwen. So you got, one goes, you got another one.
Yeah, but the thing is, the way Mary Jane dies makes every other relationship not fun.
They call that big pimping.
I don't think anybody here except Malid knows how she dies.
I don't. I could tell you that. I'm not Spider-Man.
I have no idea.
Oh well, so Peter and Mary Jane try to have a baby, and
she dies giving birth?
No, not exactly. It turns out that Peter Parker's a lot more radioactive than everybody thought.
Ooh. Oh damn, man.
I think I have heard that somewhere.
This is a family-friendly stream, so I can't really say exactly what happens, but I'm sure y'all can guess.
I'm a death by adult entertainment.
Yes.
That's a good way to put it.
Death by SRM AI.
Wow.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it isn't. It just happens that way.
Yeah. So I think that's
you just can't have kids. That's it. That's a good thing to know. You can't have kids.
That's a great thing to know. That's a dream. But I think this is the end of the stream.
He only says that. Hold on. Maybe he only says that because he doesn't have.
When he has one, he'll be talking.
I have
Right.
I have
Oh, no.
4. I have 3. No, I have 5 nephews and 2 nieces. I'm
No, it's
okay.
not the same. Nope, it's not the same. Trust me when I tell
Not
you.
the same.
Same. I've raised little cousins and everything, and I was like, no. But when I had my daughter, oh, trust me, I'm telling you, it was a whole different story.
I'm trying to end the podcast here. All right, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We definitely had fun. It was nice to have some guest people. They're not stars in my eyes.
Wow.
Dang, poor Squish. Poor Squish.
So yeah, thank you.
Squish is king.